Okay, so it seems as though we are actually dealing with the things that we're actually used to from the original Charmed: prisms and mirrors, stuff like that. So I'm in for the ride.
And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I want to pull my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag in all its forms. What, Cookie?
Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for season 1, episode 2 of the new Charmed on the CW. Let's talk about this, and I'm not going to go blow by blow through the actual episode. That's something that you will learn with me. I basically talk about the things that stuck out to me that were either funny or that I enjoyed or made me feel some type of a way. Those are the things that I actually talk about in my reviews. I don't do blow by blow, scene by scene. If you want that, you'll have to get a subscription for your local cable company like I have. And then you can watch the show too. What I talk about is the things that stuck out for me. So that's what I do. So let's get to it. Okay, so first thing that we actually seen was there was a woman that was actually at work. She's cleaning up. Asian woman. She's an Asian woman, and it seems like she's listening to like a Rosetta Stone type of thing in her earbuds, and she's just doing her little cleaning thing, and she's in the lab, basically where Macy works. And it's gonna take me a second to get these girls' names together because they were all P's before, Prue and Piper and Phoebe and the hell was the others, the fourth sister, Paige. But now we got Maggie, Mel, and Macy. Macy is the daughter that was put up for, she was given away, and her dad raised her. She's the child that is biracial. Mel is the lesbian. She's the lesbian. And Maggie is the baby girl, the ditz. So it's going to take me a minute, but we'll get them because I hate those names. All three of those names: Mel, Macy, and Maggie. Who the fuck came up with that? But anyway, okay, so she works down where Macy works. She works in the lab and all that. And we end up seeing like this black blob type of situation. It looked a whole lot like if you've seen Venom, the new Venom movie, it looks exactly like that. Like they didn't really stole that. The whole way it moved and everything, and the way it absorbed in the body, it was all the exact same thing from the Venom movie. But that's what happened. It jumped on her, got and basically went into her chest, and then it jumped back off of her and went. Looked like it kind of went and traveled through the vent, but it left like some residue on it, which was weird. It left like a little residue, and then she was actually placed in like ICU or whatever, and she was basically like in a comatose state. Now later on, after people came and found out all some different stuff, Macy ended up getting some of that residue, and she put it in a little valve. So she actually had that. Now, she was holding on to it. And the reason she was holding on to it was because, remember at the end of the last episode, the Ouija board had told them don't trust Harry. Harry is the white lighter. And of course, I hate his name too because we love Leo. So I hate his name too. I really got to get myself off of the old program. But so the Ouija board told them don't trust Harry. And the Ouija board was basically leading them to believe that it was the mother and the Ouija board the whole time. And the girls went through a lot of turmoil with this because Maggie and Mel really were like so hell bent and they believed. You know, Macy's very, very smart. She's a scientist. So she is always looking for the logical thing. So she was questioning, is that really the mother? And there was a point where the board had actually snatched Maggie's arm at one point, which was really strange. And you know, Macy can actually do telekinesis, so she made slam the board and broke it. They had to cast a spell and fix the board back. So in the beginning, they weren't all agreeing, and then they were doing majority wins, majority rules. So the two sisters that grew up together had actually bound together against Macy. And they were like, well, we're going to continue on because we think it is mom. And I was like, oh, that's going to be a problem. And it was. It became a problem because Macy actually has abandonment issues. So them siding against her and leaving her out on the outside poses a problem. That was something that actually came up in this episode. I was like, yeah, I was looking for that to happen. And that's something definitely that they are going to have to work through because they got to be able to trust each other for the whole power of three thing to work. And this whole thing with them two siding against her, leaving her on the outside, leaves her feeling like an outsider. So there will never be a complete trust going on. So they, oh, this was funny. Instead of calling, because whenever they say Harry's name, he shows up. You know, he's their white lighter, so he shows up. So they were trying to figure out what they can trust and can't trust about Harry because they, you know, the Ouija board is telling them Harry's trying to kill him. Harry's trying to, he has this prism that, somebody had a prism that was going to do something to their powers. He was going to take their powers away. They needed to get this prism, and the prism would protect them from him, and that he had it and he was hiding it somewhere in their house. So, in the midst of all of this, they continue going on with all of that. They started calling Harry Mega Marcos, and it was like, what? But he wouldn't show up for that. So that's what they had started calling him. I was like, a mess. So I was laughing at that every time they would actually say it. It was really, really stupid. And it was like, it was funny. It was funny. But so they did all of that. Okay. They did all that. They end up going and snooping around. They find a mirror. They said mirror. It's something about these mirrors. And there was Latin written on the mirror. And it said, because the other two, they don't know how to read it. Macy knew Latin. And it said, the only way out is together. So she remembered that. They went in. When they got into the mirror, because you could walk into the mirror. Once they got in it, they see that they were all separated out, kind of. And it was like, like right away, they don't know yet because they're all new to this, but we know as the viewer that that's all a trap. Like it's all parts of a trap, and it just screamed trap. But they went in there, they ended up finding the prism, got the prism, brought the prism back out. They just got out just in time because literally the mirrors started breaking. So there was like one left, and they actually made it out of through the mirror. They got the prism. Macy mixed up and made this truth serum that they were going to give to Harry to actually find out what was actually going on, because here Macy actually walked up on Harry wiping the woman who actually got attacked by the demon, the black blob demon. He was wiping her memory, and Macy walked up on him doing that at the hospital, and it just kind of further perpetuated that he was like trying to kill her or something. And he told her, I'm wiping her memory clean, this, that, the other. Again, they don't know anything about us. So it's like, his ass is lying to us. You know what I mean? So that's where she had that little valve, and she didn't give it to him. She had kept it because she's like, I don't trust his ass. So that was that. They went ahead, got through with all of that. Little bit after that, the woman died. So it literally continued on with um and continued on with you know more of this doubting Harry thing, and they keeping it to themselves. Well, later on, which I thought was the complete best scene of the whole movie, they all got back together. Oh my god, the truth serum got mixed up in true charmed fashion because they're goofy. Got mixed up, and Mel's girlfriend ended up getting the truth serum, and she works for the police force. Child, she done got down there, and once they figured it out, and Mel had went to get her, she ends up telling Mel that she has slept with her ex twice, like in the last couple weeks. So that caused a whole problem, a whole problem. Um, they went on back. They ended up getting into. They were down at the Ouija board. They're talking to the Ouija board. They got it all together. They're thinking it's the mom. And then it's saying, release me. I said, oh shit, here we get ready to have a problem now. So they did the little spell to release, and the mother comes out. Now, it ain't really the mother, child. It ain't the mother. It was actually a demon that was posed up like the mother. Okay? It was a demon. That's where the whole situation came from with them sitting. I got it out of context here, but that's where the whole situation of going into the mirror came. The mother told me to go into the mirror. Well, when they actually got out of the mirror, when they busted out of the mirror, they busted out into watching the mother and Harry was having a whole knockdown, drag out fight, baby. They was getting down. Fighting their ass off. They was getting down. And Harry had just flipped the mother over the banister. Fucked her over the banister, and he leaped down there, and they were down on the floor ready to really get it at him. And they had this whole thing going, and he had a knife getting ready to do her. He was getting ready to do her. And that's when Macy froze him. No, I'm sorry. Was it Macy? Because Macy can't do that. It was Mel. Mel froze him. And Macy turned the knife around. And he was like, don't do this. Don't do this. Y'all aren't trusting me. It's not me. That is not your mother. That is a demon. This, that, thing, and the other. They unfroze like her face. And she was like going on. And she was like, well, no, she told Mel, she told Mel, go ahead, do it. It's always been just me and you, Mel. It's always been you and I. We were always the closest. It's always been you and I. Honey, the next thing you know, she ended up taking the knife and spun it around and stabbed the demon. She stabbed the demon with it, and the demon ended up falling out on the ground. She hadn't looked like a demon. She's still looking like their mother. She's laying on the floor. And right then is when Harry was like, now watch it, watch, because she may just, and before he could even get it out, she went into this whole demon form, baby. Her eyes turned white. She jumped up, baby. And when I tell you the fight was on, she went into that demon form, and they really got to fighting, baby. She got to flying, and she was carrying on. She was carrying on till she kicked the shit out of Macy and would send her flying across the room, knocked her ass out. And then she literally ended up back with the knife. She had slung Macy's ass somewhere, or Mel's ass somewhere. She ended up back with the knife and was getting ready to get over there to get to Maggie. Mel froze her in midair, was trying to hold her. It was just too much. It was just too much. Too much. But they ended up getting it all together, getting her ass vanquished. Got her vanquished. And I just gotta laugh at that. That was like the whole best part of the whole episode, was that whole fight with the demon mother. I lived for that whole little part. That was exciting. But they did all that. They got rid of her. Harry was like, no, it's me. whatever. I'm the white lighter. I was just wiping her memory clean.
They gave
the
Harry
the prism as well. Once they finally got their trust back for Harry, they gave Harry the prism, and he explained to them it was all a lie. That the actual prism is not to protect them. The prism actually will take and suck their powers in, and it cannot be destroyed. So that's why it was actually hidden, and they gave it back to him to go back and hide it. They were like, okay. Then Harry ended up telling them, this was like the end. Harry ended up telling them that host of that blob demon has to find a human body to possess. And now we have to figure out who that person is. Here it was, that lady, the Asian lady, you see her coming back to life, but she's down in the morgue. And you seen her eyes pop open. I was like, oh shit. So that's where we ended, and I guess that's where we'll pick back up next week. Not too bad. Still some things in here that I'm gonna have to get used to. Still some things I'm gonna have to get used to. As well as like learning their names and all of that little stuff, because it just ain't sticking. Like their little names and stuff, because I hate them. I don't like their names, so it's not sticking. But whatever, it's gonna be all right. But entertainment wise, it's okay. It's okay. Entertainment wise, it's okay. It didn't get boring. I didn't get bored or anything. Some of their little antics, I'd be like, oh my god. Naturally, the Maggie ended up talking. Oh, she quit her boyfriend too. She's trying to learn how to use her powers in this episode. How to block out what she don't want to hear. She heard too much from the boyfriend. They were having sex, and it just turned her off. Like everything that his mind was saying, he was so clingy and so kind of weird. It turned her off, so she didn't quit him. She quit him, and then she told Mel, "You don't need to hold the truth serum stuff that the girlfriend told you. You don't need to hold that against her because you weren't supposed to know that. That wasn't anything you were supposed to know, and things that you ain't supposed to know, you can't hold against people." I was like, I don't agree. She screwed around with the ex-girlfriend. She thinks she's slick. Baby, you need to quit her, but she didn't. She kept her. So anyway, I'll catch up with y'all next week. All right, later.